Welcome back to our channel Focus. Today we are diving deep into early and blessed walk journey back to the early 20s horror scene. We are talking about none other than Wrong Term 2003, the film that dawned the applicants words, nightmares and give us a whole reason to fear road trips and shortcuts. So buckle up, horror fans, as we discuss this cult classic, explore its terrifying world, analyze its character, and discuss why, even after the 2 decades, Wrong Town still has ferocious bite. Let's get into it. Wrong Town, directed by Robbie Rob Wood Smith and written by Ala B. Maida, is survivor horror film that made its debut in 2003. At first glance, it is your type young adult stuck in wooden smasher movie, but what makes Wrong Term stand out is guilty, unapathetic apology to the horror and its ruthless nonsense villain. Cannabit Mountain men who take the film started a narrative fresh fade fresh fade cast including Demons Haraston, Rick Duscon, Emichik and Jamie Skin System. It delivers the port of the wrong term is elegantly simple, which is one of its greatest strengths. A medical student is running late for job interview in Lagos, Northern California. In an attempt to avoid a traffic jam, he takes a back road shortcut through the dense forest of western Virginia. Sin, Sin soon crashes into SUV parked in middle of the road. The SUV belongs to a group of friends, Jesse's, Calvin, Scott, Eva, and Francis, who had who had already suffered a tight punch due to the barrier white trap laid by sister local. When Wash starts a question for help into all-out nightmares as the group stumbles upon the cabin. Inside, they find horrifying evidence of human remains, taxis gone wrong, and history of buckles. Entry the villain of the story, a trio of disfigureful embedded Calvinia known as Three Finger, Sawtooth, and One Eye. These silence primary predict and relentless, using their hunting skill and knowledge of the forest to stalk and buckle the intruder in increasingly gruesome way. From here on, its fight for survival as the group disappearing tide escape the lady part of the woods while the cabin picks up picks them off one by one. One thing that Wrong Turn does well keep keep its character familiar but still engaged. Chase Wilson survives as classic, resourceful outsider He is intelligent, quick on his feet, and willing to take risk. But what relevant is his character in his humanity? He isn't a Superman. He's terrified, desperate, and often takes mistakes. Jesse Biel games portrayed by played by Zane Duque is, a, is the film rough as nail final girl. She is not dramly in distress, she is a fighter. Jessie shows resilience, leadership, and guilt, especially as the group deems less. Scott and Cal, the couple in love, provide some emotional weight, to the group of dynamic. Their bond is tested by choice and their deaths. Particularly sound Scots are among the most tragic and intense in the film. Eva and Frances are the Silvermore has the psychotic type early victim, but even they get moment that highlights their vulnerability before they shifted dispatched. But the real star or rather nightmare of the film are Calvins. They don't speak, they don't monologue, and they certainly do not take. These mutant three finger, saw tooth, and one eye are the epitome of the pure animas- animatic evil. There are disformation and are the result of generation of inbreeding, and the methods of funding reflect the cunning empathy instinct. The lack of backstory actually added to the terrorist. They are primary force of nature, and the film wisely does not over explain their resistance. Despite its strength, Wrong Term isn't without its fault. Criticised often pointing to its lack of depth in its character development beyond the leads. Some of the death, while shocking, feel foreignistic, and the dialogues at times dip into glitch territory. Additionally, the film does not little to the subject expectation, playing it safe within conversation. This work for some viewers looking for pure survival horror experience, but others might be find it's lacking in innovation. Wrong Term is succeed at box office and adds its strong DVD sales swords in entire franchise, including multi-sequel, a reboot, and a cult following. For most of the sequel lead more exploration, horror, and expand the mutant law. The original remain the guild and the most grounded entry. It's trapped into a premier fear that few films of its era capture so effectively. Even today, Wrong Term is a criticized among the best backward horror film and continues to influence some similar projects. In conclusion, Wrong Term is a relentless, no-filter horror experience. It does not try to relevant to wheel, instead it sharpens to strike on it and run you over the fortity. with its joystick, almost atmosphere, brutal kill, and terrifying villain. It is a must-watch for fans of survival horror and casher film. Its sympathies, it is its strength, and while it does not have any layers of more debuted horror films, it does not need them. Sometimes the pure fear of being haunted is a being lost in a place where humanity does not exist is enough. So if you haven't revisited Wrong Term in a while, maybe it is time to take that trip into the woods again. But remember, stay on the main road. That's it for today's horror trip down memory lane. What are your thoughts on Wrong Term? Did it did it scars you as much it did me? Let me know your thoughts in comments below. If you enjoy this review, smash the like button, subscribe for more horror deep dive, and I'll see you next nightmare. Stay safe, stay spooky, and stay in the right road.